Hey everyone, HeatherAsh July here with our weekly Ask Heather Ash. And so I am open to any questions that you have. And I'm going to have a time before I jump on here to go check the post that we put earlier today to see if anybody wrote any questions. So I'm going to go check that right now. And we'll wait while some people join. Good. So as I said, every Monday or so. Okay. Yay. All right, I just checked the post. Hey, Wendy, welcome. So last week we were talking about, hey, Valerie, hey, Tara. Last week we were talking about relationships, about the idea of letting women be when they're upset in some way, of listening to our intuition. So I'm open to any questions that you have today. Hey, Valerie. And I can also share some thoughts from recent questions that have come into our team. So, because we're often getting emails through our hello@heatherashjuly.com. So one thing that I want to share is that, hi, Wendy. I'll wait a couple more minutes and just let people join first before we get started. So, hey, Sunshine, welcome. So any personal questions that you all have, anything that you've been thinking about, anything that you're wondering about, I am happy to answer any questions. And let's get started today by talking a little bit about community. I get a lot of questions about how to be in community, how to, hey, Susan, excuse me, how to honor yourself, the difference between the individual and the community. I just did an interview today with somebody who's working on her dissertation around warrior goddess leadership, and we had such an amazing conversation today. And this was one of the questions, was around how do you balance out the importance of the individual and the individual needs, and where an individual is in their process with community, with being in community. And what I found is that we want to really learn to balance both of them, that each of us is on a unique path. We're on a path of learning to be responsible for ourselves, of letting go of the places that we've given our power outside. And so we're in a big process individually of reclamation, of reclaiming ourselves, of shedding the old layers that aren't ours, and that our individual path is really important. And yet, if we just focus on the individual, then we're missing out on the gift of being in community and learning how to honor where everybody is on their path. And I've seen sometimes when we focus just on our individual paths that we disconnected from the world, that we can start also comparing ourselves, like, I'm better than this person, but I'm not as good as this person. And we can get into these sometimes really subtle power struggles in community of comparing, criticizing, thinking people should be in different places than they are, rather than really honoring one of the gifts of community, whatever that community is, whether that's a spiritual community that you're part of, or your family, or a work situation, because those are all different types of communities. We have to recognize that people are in different places in their lives, they're in different places in their consciousness, in their awareness, they're in different places in their relationships, and it's actually great to have a mix of people in your life. You don't really want to have just one kind of person in your life, or think, oh, well, I want people that are all like me. It's actually not the best thing to have in your life. You actually want a mix of people that are diverse, people that are different from you, people that have different values and different opinions, because that's going to stretch you to grow. And the truth is that everybody is evolving in their own way. And so the place that we sometimes can get stuck in, well, everybody should be in the same place that I'm at or doing the same thing that I'm at. You know, I think about this every once in a while. If you think about yoga, like a practice like yoga was created in India. From what my understanding is, the kind of the main type of yoga was hatha yoga. And from that kind of mother yoga, all of these other traditions sprouted, including the yoga mentor that I have, whose name is Anna Forrest. And she created a form of yoga, forest yoga, which is incredibly powerful, which really takes the emotions into account, and long holds on poses and a lot of ceremony as well that's woven in. And every once in a while I'll think about, what if we weren't allowed to diversify something like yoga? And that's just one example, you know, or we're only allowed to have one type of soap. The cool thing is about having different humans and different experiences is that we can evolve things, we can transform things, and everything that we as humans touch, we have the opportunity to be creative in our relationship with it. And so if we only are hanging out with people that are exactly like us, you're not going to be as creative, because you're not going to be inspired, you're not going to be stretched, you're not going to be challenged, you're not going to be open to different opportunities that you would if you were exposed to a lot of different people. So that's something that we really want to celebrate. And the places in our communities where there's conflict or where there's challenges, those are places to deepen intimacy. Those are places to learn more about ourselves. Those are places to really look inside to see, what is it that is upsetting us? What is it that is asking to be healed in this moment? Because so often when there's a trigger within a community where there's conflict, there's opportunity, there's huge opportunities there for healing, versus always trying to pretend there's never conflict, or hoping that we can find a community where there is not conflict. And again, when I say community, I mean any type of community, whether that's at work, your family, on a spiritual path, that we're not here to be in relationship with each other to avoid conflict. That's not the purpose of relationship. Okay, the purpose of relationship is also not to create conflict or to be immersed in conflict all the time. The purpose is to enjoy each other, and when conflict arises, to turn and face it, to be in a relationship with it directly rather than shying away from it. Because there's always a potential for healing. So any questions, any shares, any thoughts? I'd love to hear any thoughts that you have or any specific questions. Hey, Astrid, hey, Dana, and Shannon, welcome. Hi, Michelle, thank you. Hey, Leah, hey, Liddy. Wonderful to have you all here. So if there's no questions, I'll go to the next thought that I've been working with. But I'm also open. Any questions that you have, any shares, would love to hear. And if you're working on a question right now, keep typing. So the other thing I believe that we started talking about yesterday is this idea of, again, collective versus individual. And that what I've seen with a lot of women is that we can get stuck, hey, Miriam, on, okay, so Susan just wrote, I'll pause that thought, come back to it. I work in a very toxic environment. Unfortunately, it's a complicated situation. Yeah, they usually are, unfortunately. So my support to you and to anybody who has a complicated work situation or a complicated family situation is to make sure that you have plenty of outside support and that you're running experiments. So this idea of what you practice bringing into your work situation, or what can you practice bringing into your home situation. In my book, Awaken Your Inner Fire, one of the things that I talk about is this idea of, what's it called? Okay, I just blanked out because I read Livy's. Sorry to hear that you're having a hard time. And my internet seems stable on this side, so hopefully it will stay stable. Is this idea of, so I'm just going to go back to what I was talking about before. When you're in relationship with places that are challenging, you need support, you need to get that steady support. And then also, there we go, experiments. That in my book, Awaken Your Inner Fire, one of the things that I talked about is what your true work is. So your true work is one word that is a quality that you're working to embody everywhere in your life. So it might be compassion, it might be presence, it might be stillness, it can be anything. And what's beautiful about having clarity around what that intent is, around what that one word is you can use it to help you navigate difficult situations. Because you can constantly be asking yourself, how do I bring compassion into this situation? Or how do I bring love? How do I bring my presence? Whatever your true work is, whatever you feel like is your gift to bring to the world and yourself. So this idea of true work is not the way that you're in service to the world, it's what you're learning to embody for yourself and then spill out to other people. So I hope that helps a little bit. Astrid, how can we keep our patience and grounding alive with dealing with ego, for example, my boss? What approaches have you worked for you that can take with us into the corporate world? It's a great question. Again, what I found incredibly helpful is running experiments and looking at what's being triggered by the person. So to list the qualities that you're really struggling about with your boss, and this is where you get hooked, because there are many things about your boss that you don't love, but you're like, yeah, oh well. And that you just work around it. And there may be other places where you get triggered or you feel incredibly frustrated, or you start to take it really personally, like they're doing this because of me. And so one thing to do is to list where the places that you're getting hooked, that you're getting triggered, or that you're struggling with particular behaviors or actions that they do. And this part is sometimes not so fun, but to then list, where have you ever done anything like that before? So you have a list of, here are the qualities I don't like, or I wish were different. And then you ask yourself, where are places that I've also done something similar? Okay, and then list that out as well. So you can just start to build some compassion, because you're always going to find some ways. You don't find some ways, and it doesn't mean it's directly like, but so you can really just get to the place of humanity. That's how I think of this, because you're getting to a place of humanity with each other, with your relationship with your boss and yourself. And to pick one of them that's challenging, not necessarily the most challenging, but just pick one that is challenging to you and practice running an experiment. How can you not get triggered? How can you be more thoughtful? How can you have spaciousness around whatever that one behavior is? So don't try and do it all at once. So that's really worked for me, is trying different things, picking one thing and realizing whatever's being mirrored here is something that I am ready to clean up, that I'm wanting to clean up. It doesn't mean your boss is ever going to change, but you can change how you're in relationship to them. So really watch the place that you're trying to change the other person. And you're also not trying to twist yourself to make it work. So I'm not saying that either. You're learning to get fluid and flexible enough so that you can start looking at how can you navigate this in a more graceful way, and what needs to be cleaned up that's in there as well. So I hope that helped, Astrid. And then Valerie, welcome to Kelly and Julie and Cinda. So Valerie, how do you handle wanting to broaden your horizons and explore new things, but your significant other likes you as you are and can't understand why and is struggling with it because you're changing and they don't want you to change? Yes. So what I found helpful in situations like that, when I have had friends or beloveds that are really comfortable with who I am or who I've been to them, and then I start changing and they're like, wait a minute, where are you going? Is to find something that you have in common. Here's one way to work it. Find something that you have in common with your partner that you really love doing together, or commit to finding something that you can do with your partner that you both will love together. So whatever that is, and you have to be really creative around that. And it might be, it might be a particular TV show. It may be going out for hikes together. It may be taking up a new hobby. But you find something where you have shared context and that you're feeding that. Because you want to keep feeding the relationship and nourishing the relationship. And in order to do that, you have to find where's the shared context. Okay, so it's not that you're saying, well, I just have to do stuff with them, or this is what we've always done, so I'm going to keep doing it. What you're going to say is, I want to nurture this with you. You're important. Here's what I want to nurture. And then build that. And then also say, and here's some things that I'm doing that are different. And you don't have to participate. It's okay. So that you're not pushing or trying to get them to go along with you. You're honoring their choices, but you're also not doing the new things. But you're holding both. Relationship's important. Let me show you how it's important. Let's play more. Let's do more things that grow us as a couple. And I'm also going to do things that grow me as an individual. You don't have to participate. And don't fight. Don't fight. That sounds easy, right? What I mean is, it's okay that your partner doesn't want you to change. Let them have that opinion. It's okay. And that's what I mean is, don't go into battle around that. Just be like, I understand you don't want me to change. And things are changing. So there's a way that you can get into justifying or defending yourself or judging them for not supporting you. And that's what I'm saying is, do your best to let go of all of that and just honor where they're at and also where you're at. All right. So sorry to hear that it's breaking up. I'm in the strongest internet place in my house, and I'm out in the country, so it's not always stable. So welcome to Bonnie and Michelle and Sarah. Astarte. Jill, we like to have mystery dates once in a while. It may be something I like or something he is interested in. We only give each other minimal info on these. That's awesome. Yeah, that's really, really great. So it's a good thing. You know, in relationships, here's the interesting thing about relationships. We have a couple minutes left. Is relationships thrive on stability and adventure, which are often opposites. Okay, in relationships, we want the sense of stability and the sense of familiarity and the sense of, I can count on you, I know who you are. And we also want a sense of mystery, unknown, and adventure, and a little bit of danger. It's actually the opposite in some ways. And so we get to work in, how do we build both of those things in? A sense of safety and a sense of mystery and adventure. And Jill said having something like mystery dates is a great way to do that. I was just thinking about one of the people that I'm dating right now. I was just realizing, and I'm like, you know, we need to mix things up and play with each other in just a different way than we've been doing, because I can feel it starting to get a little bit rote. And so I've been just thinking about, how do we do that? How do we play? And a lot of time the play part takes some risk. It takes some courage to step out of what's familiar. All right, dear ones. Well, that's our HeatherAsh for today. Thanks so much for joining me. And if you have any other questions, you can feel free to email them to us at hello@HeatherAsh, and we'll collect them, and then I'll be doing another one next Monday, wherever I'm at. I'm about to hit the road tonight. I'm joining my Airstream, and I'm driving towards North Carolina and then to New York. So I'll be on the road for the next couple days, and in North Carolina this weekend, team workshop in Boone at a beautiful place called the Art of Living. So many blessings to each of you. I hope you have a great evening. And I'm going to get off this call, and then I'm going to get on the call again on the podcast, because I just got my box for the tea magic hour. So come back. So I'm going to close this one, and then I'm going to do the opening. I'm excited. All right. Bye, sweethearts. Thanks.